Hi friends, hello, how are you? Today I will share how to make a buttercream and also a decoration easy for Halloween using this buttercream. The recipe is 6 teaspoons of merengue powder, 3 tablespoons of water, and 400 grams of unsalted butter and 400 grams of icing sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then we will, if it's necessary, we will coloring with purple or white color. So let's get started. First of all, here I have the 6 teaspoons plus the 3 tablespoons of water. Mix it very well until it's nice and clean. Now let's add the vanilla. Is 1 teaspoon. Mix again. Then we will add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Let's mix it again. Now let's add the 400 grams of icing sugar. Pay attention that this sugar has no cornstarch, it's 100% icing sugar. Mix it little by little with the liquid part. I am using no very high speed. I am in the number 2 or 3 of this mixer, hand mixer. So when you don't see the powder anymore, you can increase the temperature, but before we need to add the butter. This buttercream is room temperature. Add small squares or chunks of butter, and then little by little start combining it with the dough. You will see how the butter mixed or combined with the sugar, and it became to be cream texture. Then again add more. So this is the first batch, the 200 grams. I am using high speed now. I am in level 6. Finish the first batch and mix again. All the process of this buttercream took me 15 minutes. So it's very fast, the result. When you see this creamy and you start making marking or lines in the cream, then you can start adding more. And also the color of this butter will change. It will get very white. At the point that we don't need really to add white coloring. You will see at the end of the video what I do to get a little bit more whiter than it is now. I have started with the second batch of the buttercream, the other 200 grams, to complete the recipe of 400 grams. So every time you add, mix and beat very well high speed. It's worth to mention that I have another good recipe using corn syrup. Is really good, also good for fondant. I will share the link of this tutorial at the end of this video. So now you see how creamy it is. Now the only thing we need to do now is beat, only beat. When you finish the adding of the 400 grams of butter, beat for a little bit more, like 3-5 minutes, and then test it. Try it. If you still feel the flavor of butter, that means that you still need to beat more. So I will do this, as you see, again in my cream. It's finished, so it's really spreadable, this buttercream. You can see also that in the cake, if we imagine the cake, you see that with the spatula there is no holes. It's really soft, smooth. You can paint it right now when you finish, but see the color. In reality, I don't need to add anything. That's why I decided to don't use too white color and just use it's just a touch of purple color. It's just a tiny touch with the toothpick. And then you will notice later the difference. So now I am taking one part colored from my batch and then other part from the side of the bowl that I didn't mix it. You see, the top is not mixed with the color purple and the bottom it is. So there is a slightly difference in the whiteness. You can see that better. So now this is the result. See how beautiful is our buttercream now? This is ready for use in the decoration that I will make for Halloween. This buttercream lasts 6 months in the freezer, 2 weeks in the refrigerator, and 2 days at room temperature. Now I am using my vanilla cakes. The recipe of these vanilla cakes are in the channel. No need here to use syrup because these are super moist. I am gluing the cake to my cake board. You can add the filling like maybe 1 centimeter thickness. Then just center your cake layers and then continue with the same process until you finish all. Later on, you see that the cake at this point is really good level, but still I need to level one side only of the cake. I notice this when I am making the first crumb coat. Okay, so in this part I notice that there is one unlevel side, so I prefer to remove it so all the cake is even, and that means that I won't need to use a lot of cream to level my cake with the cream. I prefer the cake is already level and even from the cake and not with the cream. So now I just mask the cake or crumb the cake before applying the buttercream as decoration. This is only the crumb coat part. Now cake go to the fridge for about 20 minutes. I will paint the other part of the buttercream. This will be orange. Add little by little so you get the right color. And these gel colors take time to mix it completely, and then also the color intensifies with the time. Okay, I like this color. Now my cake is 20 minutes out of the fridge. I will start covering. You can use a pipe bag to do this, but also you can do it with a spatula. As you see, the buttercream is very easy to spread. You see also that I am using a very thin layer of buttercream, so it's not too thick. Maybe it's 1.5 millimeters of this orange buttercream. I like this because when you use a lot of cream in your cakes, these are very sweet, or they have a lot of creams more than cake. They are a cream. And in my personal opinion, for me, I don't like it. So I prefer to use less cream and more cake, more bread, and just the necessary amount of cream. Then we will work with the scraper. So only I use the spatula to apply the cream, but now I will remove and smooth all the cake, removing the excess with the scraper. This process is very repetitive because you do 1 time, 2 times, many times until all the cake is nice and smooth. If you see any parts that need to add more cream, just add in the place and then scrape again. Every time you scrape, clean your scraper. So when you touch the cake, you don't leave the excess of the scraper again over the cake.
We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Okay, now cake goes to the fridge again. We will make royal icing. I am using 1.5 tablespoons of merengue powder, 9 tablespoons of icing sugar, and 1 tablespoon of water. Mix together very well. Then you can paint this and use for any purpose, or just keep it in white to use as a glue. In this case, I will do a drip cake, and the person who will eat this cake has allergy to nuts. So that's why I am not using any product with chocolate or something that has been made in contact with nuts. So that's why I decided to do in royal icing. You can add more water drop by drop until you get the right consistency. The right consistency is when the falling part fall and don't stay in the place like now. Here the idea is to leave a line, and then in the places that you want the drops or the drip, push more products. And these drops or drip will still fall. You will see later how it nicely finish. Now I am making the pumpkin. I am using an apple. Wash the apple, dry very well. You can use also pears if you want. Any fruit is good. Now just cover with fondant. No need to use any glue, water or Tylo powder, nothing, or edible glue, nothing. Just the fondant until you cover all. Then just model and remove your impression, just your finger impression. When this is done, you can start making the lines using a wood stick. And then we will start modeling the face. There is not big modeling in this figure. You will see we need just a silicone brush to create the eyes. The eyes are kind of cat eyes. Then for the nose we have a triangle, and we have also a moon shape for the mouth. Then remove the inside of each part, because later we will fill it with black fondant. As the fondant is very fresh now, we cannot paint it now. So I will let it dry for a little bit, and then I will paint with airbrush like this. You see? Now I will remove the inside of these features. You can also do this modeling using directly orange fondant. No need to, if you don't have airbrush, you don't need to do it this in white. I prefer to use white because I use a lot the airbrush, and also because for me it's easy to have white fondant and painting as I need than have only one color. The recipe of this fondant is the same that I use for covering my cakes. So it's really good. The recipe also is in the channel if you are interested to watch it. The link will be also during this video. So now I finished the modeling and then it's done. Now the cake was 10 minutes in the fridge until the royal icing is set, and I will apply some extra decoration piping only in the top. Now I am making other 2D decorations with a pumpkin cutter cookies, okay? So these two in the paper will be to use in the front of the cake, so I need to paint only one side. The apple I have to paint it all. Also the pumpkin that you see with the stick, that will be part of another cake, but I am painting all in one time. Notice that I am painting step by step, so I don't paint one figure totally. I just let it dry for seconds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, from one to another until I complete the color. I am removing also the top of the pumpkin because I will model later in green fondant. So again, now my figures are dry, so I continue painting or giving more color. See, I change from one figure to another figure. If you do in one time one figure only, then you will see drops in your figure. Okay, so now we have this. I will fill with black fondant the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Same for the pumpkin that has the stick, the wood stick. When we finish this, I will create the upper part of the pumpkin. Okay, this will be on top. Then model a little bit, just and connect. Don't use too much glue because the glue removes the airbrush color. Okay, this is done. So now let's complete the other one. Now I am making some definitions with brown airbrush. You can use also black. I am defining the lines, especially the lines and the connection between the green and the orange color. Now I am placing my two decorations of the pumpkin and also the apple on top. For decorations in fondant over the buttercream, you don't need to glue anything. The buttercream is good. No need edible glue or water. Now I am placing some candies on top, made with fondant. Again, because this little girl has allergy to nuts, so I am pretty sure that all the things that the cake has are made with fondant or buttercream. I mean, not chocolate, nothing in contact with, in the process, with nuts. So cake is done so far. This was the original cake, and now I just added the name and a dedication, happy birthday, on the cake board. That's all, friends. I hope you like it. I will show you later where I used the other pumpkin with the wood stick, because I use it for a small cake decorated only with ganache, chocolate ganache, and these are the decorations. Very easy to do. Thanks for watching again. If you have any question, please comment below. Don't forget to subscribe so you can receive all the notifications. See you in the next video. Bye!